What's up, guys? So I'm going to talk about the 250s today at the Triple Crown. A lot of missed opportunities out there. We lost a title contender, and I got some advice for Hayden Deegan. And I got a little bit more on the Hayden Deegan situation. I'll tell you what exactly happened, or at least what I heard happened, and what he should have done. If you have aches and pains and you're tired of taking Tylenol or Advil or whatever it is you take, try Nano-Xtreme. If you haven't tried it, click the link in the description, get your free sample, and when you're ready to order it, head over to the site and use code COOKSY for free shipping. But I'm telling you, this pain cream is by far the best pain reliever that I have used, probably that I can ever remember. Check out the Coach Rob YouTube channel. Coach Rob has all sorts of content, interviews, physical fitness stuff, amateurs, vets. If you want some good content from an incredibly smart guy, head over to the Coach Rob YouTube channel.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
All right, guys, so I don't know quite how accurate this is or if it even really matters, but I'm going to give you the latest information I heard about Hayden Deegan. So what I heard was he was doing donuts in a parking lot. He wasn't street racing, but that he had a fake ID on him. And Hayden, come on, man, you broke the rule. The rule is if you're breaking the law, don't break the law. And as Ricky would say, what I mean by that is if you're driving, let's say your registration is expired, then you don't speed. You only break one law at a time. If you start breaking 2, 3, 4 laws, you'll almost always get caught. And you never get into big trouble for one law. But if you're breaking the law, don't break the law. You got to follow that one. If you've got something illegal in the car, don't speed. If you're speeding, make sure you don't have anything illegal in the car. Like I said, just break one rule at a time. And I think they're brilliant the way they're handling this. I had mentioned it yesterday, but I doubt they saw my show, nor do I even care. They're smart enough. It was reinforcing to me that they thought the same way I did as far as steer into it, make your own shirt, and then nobody can make fun of you. I just want to commend them for handling this in such a good way. Brian is brilliant when it comes to working the media and spinning things the right way. This is just a little bump in the road. It's no big deal. It's a kid being a kid. Now, if this progresses into multiple and he gets this long rap sheet, now we have a problem. But if it's just doing donuts and having a fake ID, two things I've done many times. But I'll tell you what, when you go to jail, it is a different type of experience. I've been there twice. First time was in Moab, Utah. I was underage drinking and I lied to the cop. See, I did 2 laws. And I told them that I was my brother. They figured out that they wasn't, and they hauled me in. So I got underage drinking and a falsifying ID. I was in there for about 4 hours. Moab, no big deal. Just a little cell. Didn't smell. It wasn't bad. But I got arrested one time in Las Vegas. Now I had a proof of insurance violation. And if you don't have your insurance on you, as long as you have insurance, you're fine. You just either fax it in or get it to them afterward, and they usually write the ticket off, and you're good to go. So I got this proof of insurance ticket, faxed it in, called the lady. That's how long ago it was. I faxed it. So I fax it in, call her. Oh yeah, we got it. You're good to go. 2 years later, I get pulled over. I was a couple weeks late on my registration. I'm like, dang, I'm going to get a ticket for that. Then they come back and they arrest me. I'm like, what is going on? Apparently I had a 2-year-old warrant that I had no idea about for that proof of insurance. The only thing more embarrassing than being arrested for proof of insurance is being in the cell explaining to these hardened criminals that you're really only in there for proof of insurance. They all looked at me like I was lying. They're like, we don't believe you. You probably did something bad. But that's actually what I was in there for. It was ridiculous. But when you're in there, you feel less than human. I don't remember if they called us inmate or something to that extent. They're like, inmate, face forward, inmate. I mean, they treat you like you're a piece of crap. You're lower than the gum on their shoe. It's freezing cold. There's all these dirtbag criminals, a couple people detoxing. It was an experience I never want to have again. I never want to go to jail. So now I make sure my registration and everything that I have, I do my best not to break the laws because I don't want to end up there because it is not fun. And I'm sure Hayden got a taste of that. And hopefully he's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit different and probably not go to jail anymore because that sucks. So I'm guessing that this experience for Hayden Deegan Probably, it's almost like that old show, Scared Straight. I'll tell you what, after I did a night in there, I was scared straight, and I'm guessing he probably is too, because it's not a place you want to go. It is not fun, and once you're in that system, it is so hard to get out. I was talking to some of the guys in there and their stories, how they got busted for something, and then they went on like a program, a probation, and then they can damn near throw you in for anything. It's so hard to get out of the system once you're in the system. Just stay out of the system, Hayden. Handle this, move forward. So the Triple Crown for the 250s is always kind of weird to me because they have such a short series anyway. Then to have a Triple Crown, I just feel like they need more points on this. They absolutely need bonus points on this. Now, I'm not saying, because you can't make it worth a full main event for the shortened main events. But what you can do is you can add bonus points. My suggestion is 3 points for first place, 2 points for second, and 1 for third. Championship points. They won't affect the night's overall, but you will have championship points. So if you win all 3, you get 9 extra points in the championship. Now, you're on track racing for these main events, you're at just under double. So if you really want to even it out, you put 50 points on the line and divide 50 points between 3 races. That gets a little weird. So I just like the bonus points. I think that's a perfect way to do it. And it rewards these guys for their extra riding and the extra effort. And they don't get paid anymore. How many of you guys want to do twice the work for half the pay? Not very many. And that's what Feld has done to these guys. Hey, just so you know, you're racing twice as much tonight. You're doing 3 scary starts. You get the same amount of pay and the same amount of points. Okay, cool, go. Nate Thrasher. This guy is a team manager's nightmare because he's so good and so bad. He has these awful races where he looks like he's just going to be like a guy that you're going to cut off your team. And the next week he comes out and wins. He goes from an LCQ to a main event win. You just never know what you're going to get with Nate Thrasher. And I know he's been dealing with that broken finger and some injuries, coming off a long injury last year. He hasn't really made much outdoors. I think his best finish overall in outdoors was the 8th place. He's a Supercross specialist. But as a team manager, it's like, yeah, do you want to move on from him and grab somebody you think that could maybe win a championship? And then he goes out and wins a race. And you're like, well, no, he's still got it. The thing about these teams is they will always go. If you have that potential to win, just ask Martin Davlos. If you have that potential to win in the 250 class, you will get opportunities. And that's what, he keeps his ride by just winning once in a while. And he's not too far behind. And with 2 East-West showdowns, anything can happen in this series. If he were to go on a run and maybe win both of those and have some major point loss by the other guys, he's not necessarily out of this. It's a long shot, but he's not necessarily out of this title. So if he could go on a run, which I don't think he can, he won this race with a 3.32 moto scores. That's not exactly setting the world on fire. But hey, a win is a win. He still got 25 points. Now, RJ Hampshire is going to kick himself in the ass over this one. He rode so good in the first 2 races. He won the first one. He got second in the second one, and he had a 3-point cushion going into the 3rd race. All he had to do was get 4th place or 3rd if Thrasher won. For RJ, that's not that big of a deal, and he could not run down Daxton Bennick to get that 4th place. And I don't want to hear Dax should have got penalized, because he shouldn't have. He went off the track, he lost time, and it was sand. Of course he accelerated. It's deep beach sand. So I agree with the decision not to penalize him for cutting the track. Now, I don't agree with this rule. I think if you go off the track, you should have to have some sort of a time penalty, but I don't know how to really enforce it. So all we can do is go by the rules that are there. The rules that are there say if you go off the track, safely re-enter at the nearest spot without gaining time. That's exactly what Dax Bennick did. Now, I would like to see if you go off the track and miss a certain number of track markers, that you have to do a stop and go in the mechanics area. I have mentioned this, but everybody gets mad. Oh, you can't do that. It's not that type of racing. But I'll tell you what, guys would stay on the track a lot more if they knew that when they went off, they would have to do a stop and go or lose like a lap. And what you do is you enforce it by the honor system. You tell guys, hey, if we catch video of you later on and you did this and didn't pull off, you get 1 lap. Now, if you do your stop and go, you're good. Wherever you finish is wherever you finish. And there will be some times when it's not on camera and somebody misses it and the guy gets away with it. But for the most part, you're going to have to guess, oh man, did they catch that on camera? If they did, then I'm screwed, but do I dare go for it? I don't think it's dangerous to have a stop and go. You just set a lane where the guys go on the outside and they do a stop and go penalty. That's it. No big deal. But you shouldn't have mulligans in this sport. You shouldn't be able to just go off the track after you made a big mistake that should cost you time and just speed up back down, and jump in right where you were. You just get a complete mulligan. I don't like mulligans in Supercross. But as the rule reads, Dax did nothing wrong. Now, RJ is going to kick himself if he loses his championship by 3 points or less. These are 3 points that he gift wrapped. He gave them away at the end. He should have got that. And he is going to look back on this. Like I said, if it is coming down to 3 points, which it very well could, because this thing's tight between those top 3 guys. Vial, who hasn't won, has a 10-point lead over RJ, who has a 3-point lead on Hammaker. So all 3 guys are within 13 points. With 2 showdowns and 5 rounds left, it's anyone's ballgame. Check out Ride Strapped. Goggles, glasses, shirts. Get your Red Pill shirts. Just a great company, and I appreciate them so much. Head over to ridestrap.com. Precision Transport. This is a shipping company you can count on. They get your stuff where it's supposed to go. They have customer service, proper tracking numbers. They're family owned and reasonably priced. Hit up pretransport.com. Alias MX gear. Yeah, remember the gear that Geico Honda wore for the longest time and then it kind of went away? It's back. Justin Starling's riding for Alias gear and the stuff looks awesome. You can get it at aliasmx.com, so check out their new gear. So Seth Hammaker, man, he has to be kicking himself. He was by far the best guy on the night, but he didn't get the overall. In that first main, he made a big mistake on the first lap, went down when everyone was bunched up, and he went all the way back. I mean, he created that gigantic roadblock. It messed up a lot of guys' first moto. And that mistake was all on him. I mean, you can't blame anyone for that. Pretty sure they got a hot lap before that one. He needed to know how much traction was there, and that was the type of mistakes that I thought he was kind of moving past, but he made one again. But he bounced back really well. I mean, he won the next 2 races. Still only got him 4th overall. But that's what happens. A 9th place finish in these 3 moto formats really hurts you a lot. Tom Vial is just Mr. Consistency. He's doing exactly what he needs to, just staying right there. He went from having a 1-point lead over Max Anstie to now he has a 10-point lead over RJ and 13 on Hammaker. And he's not going to give it away. You're going to have to go out and beat him consistently because he's like kind of like Webb in the sense of he's just not going to drop very far back. He's not going to give you that mistake. When it gets down to the last race or 2, I think he'll ramp it up. I really think that he has a little bit more speed in him, but he's just riding within himself to get it to that point where he can send it and the championship is actually on the line. Poor Max Anstie. Dang, broken leg. I mean, his season started so good. He won the first round. He pretty much won the second round, but then he had that weird red flag. And ever since that red flag, they must have had like a black cat cross in front of him. I don't know if he crossed under a ladder on the way back to the starting line, but it has been all bad since then for Max Anstie. He crashed at press day at Daytona, banged himself up. Then he had a horrible Daytona. After the week break, I really thought Max was going to get back into this thing and challenge for a win. I think he does good in this Triple Crown format. I really expected him to possibly come out with a win, but at least be top 3. But man, that crash didn't look that bad, but the way he landed on that leg, it just twisted it and broke it. That's it. That's how quick things can change in Supercross, and now he's out. And it really screws him up for outdoors. I wanted to see how he could do. This is a former GP racer who has won at the highest level of GPs outdoors. Now, I thought him on that Yamaha, he might be a threat outdoors. I don't think anyone has anything for Deegan, but I was really hoping to see Max come in there in shape, ready to go and battle for podiums in the outdoors. But I don't know if we're going to see that now. I don't know when he'll be back, or when he does come back, he's going to have to race himself back into shape because you can't keep your cardio when you got a broken leg. Man, the SMX Next. I do not understand why they can't go out and clean up the jumps before these kids go out there. They're the least experienced riders. They're the craziest riders. And you're going to give them the nastiest track? That's just rude. Please don't do that. And I don't want to hear the bogus argument that no, because we want them to get race conditions like they're going to race when they go pro. Well, the pros went right after them and you fixed the track for those guys. Why wouldn't you fix it for SMX Next? Come on, guys. That's just, you're going to send your rising stars out there and just see how many of them you can wipe out. Club MX has to be frustrated. Both their guys look to be on to easy wins. I believe the Russian kid, Fedorov, I don't know how to say his name. I think it's Fedorov. Man, he had a big crash coming off the triple, tucked that front and just went over the high side. But then Ryder Malinowski had it in the bag, cased it, and went into the net. They had 2 foreshore wins go out the window. It was gnarly. And Landon Gibson. Now, Landon Gibson, he had that big one in the whoops, which he also had it in the bag. Everyone that took the lead, it was almost like somebody was sniping him. I've heard this kid, and I've talked to Daniel Blair about this kid. And I asked Daniel, who are the next big talents? And Daniel's really good at spotting the talents. He told me Landon Gibson's probably the next guy to really watch. So even though he went down hard in the whoops, keep an eye on Landon Gibson. Thank you, members. Everybody is registered. If you signed up for a membership, you are entered to win the Cooper Webb Red Bull helmet. Just click that little link under the membership in the description there, and you can join. It's $2.99 a month. I try to give you guys some exclusive content when I can. Maybe you know what I'm going to do? You guys all get the Darren Lawrence information